Good afternoon, Professor. I'm going to explain the validity and reliability of my research project. First of all, the mind map. Well, uh, I'm going to explain the validity. Validity refers that the results of our study of our instruments are valid. There are different types of how we can proof of measure the validity of our instrument. First of all, content validity. Uh, it refers if our instrument is measuring all the component of that is supposed to measure in the given constructs that are explained or presented in the instrument. Face validity refers if an instrument appears to measure what it's supposed to do. In this case, if we want to measure a motivation in instrument, the instrument has to be related to things that prove or that prove that the participants can can watch that we are going to measure motivation of something other thing we want to measure. Construct validity, it refers to the degree to which the research captures the construct of interest. Criterion related validity, it refers to the extent to which a test uh, are comparable to other well-established tests. It means that if we want to present a test about maybe grammar or yeah, grammar of tenses, how uh, can we compare that with a well-established test such as the TOEFL or something like that, some uh, tests that are pre-established or that are well known, and we know that they are verified and valid in the real world. Predictive validity, it refers to the scores if the scores of one test are associated with performance on a given criterion. Well, and the last one, well, the last two ones are internal validity and external validity. The author suggests that if we want to use the external or prove the external validity of our instrument, we have to take into account the internal validity at first. In this case, in the internal validity, we check or we want to check if the instrument completes some criteria, some characteristics. For example, a participant's characteristics. If they have a specific background knowledge or proficiency level or something like that. Also, the participant mortality. In this case, if one participant can't come do one of our when we want to apply the test, it's related to the things that we have to do in those cases. Participant inattention and attitude. Well, it refers when the maybe the participants behave in a different way because they know that they are doing a test, so the results can be different, and that would be uh, would be wouldn't benefit our instrument and our data that we are going to collect. And participant maturation, it refers to if we maybe if we are going to use participants with a child. In the case we apply the instrument first at what at at certain point, and after we apply that test or survey, a period after that, maybe the participants, in this case the children, uh, have to, well, maybe they behave in a different way. And external validity refers to it the results of the study can be generalized to other situations if we can use our instrument in not just for our potential participants and in our study, but do the real work if we want to, if we can use that in a different situation with a different participants in a different setting. That is, external validity has to deal with that. Well, in reliability, it means that co- it has to, it is referring to consistency. It means similar scores. There are three different ways to check or to prove reliability. First is test retest, when the same test uh, is given to the participants at two different points of time. The time suggested between the application of the test is of 2 weeks. Equivalence of forms, or also known as parallel forms. Well, the same students, the same participants take two different versions of the test of the instrument. And the last one, internal consistency, is the first method split half, comparing the performance of half of a test with the other half. So we need to divide the participants in this method, and combat alpha. It's based on the average in the correlation of items. In this case, we can measure or assess if the results of of the participants of their time, or not not of their time, but in the two cases, the results would improve or would get worse. And after that, it's also important to pilot the survey and the instruments to some participants that they want to collaborate with us, and to check if they are something that is wrong or that isn't clear, and something like that. Well, about the reliability and validity of the instrument one, that is the survey, the reliability, we want to measure in a tertiary test, because in this way we can apply that survey. We After applying that survey, we will confirm that the results are, the results don't change after the second moment, in where we will apply the survey to the participants. And the validity of the first instrument is face validity. In this case, well, students know what is a survey, so they know how they look like. So by using this method, we want to validate the extent to which the survey keeps the measure of the variable to be measured. And about the second instrument, that is the test, also we want to use for the reliability at the method that is test retest, because in this way we it's according to Riasi, the main advantage of this method is the accuracy. So we will prove that the results are will be the same in when we will apply the test to the participants at the second time. And and the instrument talks about the validity. Well, I think it's related to internal and external validity, because internal, the our test has to has gone through different revisions, so in uh, different things have been changed. So I think we take into account the different aspects that are related to internal validity. And in the second point, external validity, I think it's this instrument can be applied to other situations in the field of languages learning, language learning, even if the participants don't belong to a program at the university.